Good morning, y'all. This is Lee again. Appreciate y'all coming back to watch another video. I know I ain't much to stare at, as I said before, but I like sharing with y'all. Gorgeous day. The wind's a little breezy, but not as bad as it was the last video. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes when I talk with somebody about something, I'll come back later and go, "Dadgummit, I wished I'd have shared this," or "I wished I'd have shared that." And you never have the opportunity. Well, that's the good thing about these videos is I get the opportunity to come back and say what I didn't say later. So it wasn't actually something that I thought of that I forgot to say to you. It's something God showed me that adds on to what I didn't share with you. So, you know me, I've got a story. The story I have today, I had a memory that I remember when I was, 5, 6, somewhere in there. We were sitting in a parking lot, and this was back in the late 70s, early 80s. There was car seats, but most parents had the built-in car seat that if they had to slam the brakes on, they slung their arm across your chest or something like that, or if you in the back seat, you ended up in the floorboard. And so we were sitting in this parking lot, sitting still, waiting on Mama. She had gone in a store somewhere, Kmart or whatever. And she was going in to get something, and my brother was a baby, or at least under 2. And he was in the car seat in the back. And I was in the front seat with Daddy, and he was letting me sit in his lap. And I'm playing with the steering wheel, jerking the steering wheel left and right. You know how it was. You did it too, I guarantee you, as a kid. And we're sitting there listening to the radio, and he's playing with me and letting me play with the steering wheel. Boy, I thought I was something else jerking that steering wheel left and right. But then Mama came out, and he said, "All right, boy, jump in the back." And I jumped in the back seat, sit down, and Mama came out, and we left. Nothing really major. I mean, there's nothing major to what Daddy did. No great memory on why I ought to remember that. But I do remember it, and I remember it was fun playing with that steering wheel. And then I got to thinking about something. Thinking about why did he let me do that? Why would God bring that memory back to me? And it dawned on me that there's times in my life that he's got me sitting still. I mean, dead still. I'm still doing all the things that I once did. I'm still serving at church. I'm still going to work. But I feel like I'm not making any motion. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm in a daggum rut. Y'all have all been there. I know you have. Maybe you're there right now. And you wonder, you're sitting here going, "God, help me get out of this rut." And you just keep getting in the rut, and you keep sitting exactly where you're at. You feel like you can't get any traction. You can't get any motion. And then I think about that parking lot. I think about Daddy letting me sit there in his lap, playing with that steering wheel. And I got to thinking about it. Well, there's always a reason why God's got us sitting still. I got some notes, because like I've said before, I'll get off track. So, there's always a reason God's got us sitting still. And maybe it's that he's trying to change your mindset, or you need to change your mindset. Because maybe the direction we're going is not the way he wants us to go. Maybe he keeps trying to correct us. My wife gets tickled at me because, when we're driving down the road with GPS, GPS is telling me turn left here. And I'm just like that commercial. I think it was a cell phone commercial. But I'm just like that commercial that said, "You're not from around here. You don't know where to go. I know how to get there faster." And usually I do. She's trying to take me to the most direct route, or she's trying to take me on a route that's going to put me in traffic. And I don't do well in traffic. I get pretty wound up. You can tell I'm a high-strung fella. And so I'll go a different way just to avoid traffic. Or I know it's going to be shorter cutting through this little side road. And GPS is having a fit over here trying to get me to go the way she wants me to go. Well, what if GPS had full control of my car and she pulled over to the side of the road and stopped the car because I wasn't going the way she wanted me to? Dadgummit, I know what's best. Well, I do the same thing with God. God, I know what's best for my life. I know where I need to go. Who are you to tell me what I need to do? And there's times where he puts our butt slap and stop. He slams the car up in park and you ain't going nowhere. And it's frustrating because just like these cars that are driving down the road I'm looking at right now, I want to be moving forward. I want to be making progress. But I keep sitting still. And maybe there's a reason why I'm sitting still. Maybe God sees something I don't see. Maybe there's going to be something terrible up ahead. Maybe there's a lesson that he's trying to teach me. One of the biggest things, and I heard this years ago, he never wastes the waiting. Let me say that again. God never wastes the waiting. He don't have you sitting still because he's wanting to laugh at you while you're sitting there. He never wastes the waiting. There's something he wants to show you or teach you or something. I gotta look at my note. So I had some questions I wrote down here. It says, what is he trying to teach me in that moment? What do I need to see? Or what mindset do I need to change while I'm sitting there still? Well, those are some heavy questions because you keep thinking about, I want to move forward. I want to do this. I want to go here. And it's easy to get wrapped up in what I want to do. But there's always a reason God's got you sitting still. And I think back to Moses when, I think it was the first video I did talking about Moses sitting in the desert for 40 days, or 40 years, 40 days. I wished. Moses had to feel like he was in a slump to go from the palace to the pasture. To be sitting there in the desert for 40 years doing nothing. God, what are you trying to teach me? But he had a reason. He had a reason for where he had him at the time and the season that he had him in it. He had a reason. So we got to ask ourselves, what is that reason he's got us sitting there? And maybe it's that we've concentrated so much on all the bad things that happen. You know, the past few days I was talking about, last video, I talked about being thankful. I talked about focusing on our blessings and not the things that are going wrong in our lives. God allows us to go through the things in our lives for a reason. And that reason is to show us that we can trust him. To show him that the next time we go through something major, that we're not alone. To show us that he's always there beside of us. We can't live in the past alone. And when we sit here and we focus on those things I talked about last video, about looking at, why can't I get a better job? Why can't I be happy in the church I'm in? Why can't I have a better house? Why can't I get a better car? Why can't I get a husband? Or why can't I get a wife? When we focus on those things, what are we doing? We're looking at the past and we're looking at the bad things that's happening in our lives. And we get our focus off of him. And we get our focus off of where he wants us to be. Thinking about that passage that we looked at on the first video. And if you hadn't seen that video, I'll link that video and the one from the last video I did in the description. So please go down there and look at them. But when we look at Moses, who did he say to tell the children of Israel when he sent him back to get them out of Egypt? Who did he tell them to tell him he was? I am. I am have sent you. I am. God didn't say he's the great I was. He said, I'm the great I am. Woo! That'll bless your heart right there. You see, God is not somebody or something that's stuck in the past, stuck in the things that used to happen, stuck in the victories that you used to have. He's not the great I was. He's the great I am. He's here to show you victories today. That'll bless your heart. You see, because you don't have to be stuck in your past. You don't have to. The purpose of the victories you had in the past is to remind you of the victories you can have today. The only way you can have those victories is to trust him, to follow him. So maybe he's got you sitting still in life right now because you're looking at him as the great I was and not the great I am. So start asking him, Lord, what do I need to change in my life? What mindset do I need to change in my mind? What sin is in the way to keep you from pushing me forward? Or maybe the question might end up being, God, and maybe it's not a question. That's the wrong wording to use. I do these videos on the fly. I don't have a script. So I guess the better wording would be, maybe the statement I need to say is, God, I don't know what's happening in my future that you see that I don't, but I'm going to trust you that you see it and I don't. And maybe there's something that's going to hurt me, or maybe that's something that you need to move into place that's not there yet. I know you're not the great I was. I know you're the great I am, and I'm going to trust you. So if you're stuck in your past, if you're stuck in the mindset of things that you've been holding on to, or trying to hold on to things of this world more than you're holding on to him, remember that with Moses in that desert, he showed Moses, I'm not the great I was. Don't focus on where you were in your past. Focus on me. Focus on how we're going to get the children of Israel out of Egypt. He's the great I am. I hope this video finds you well. If it's not, just know that somebody's praying for you. Because every morning when I do my quiet time, I pray for whoever sees these videos. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope when we find you in God's graces. Thanks. Oh, and by the way, if you like this video, if you like my format of doing videos, please go onto YouTube and like and comment and subscribe to my page, please. As I said before, I don't understand all the computer stuff, but I know it does something for the algorithm. That would help me out greatly. Have a blessed day, my friend.